Hello everybody, what is up? Cobra here with the last installment in my Global War 2025 Meltdown painted and customized armies. Here we have the NATO faction. While not my favorite faction of all the different ones, I definitely like the color scheme I went for. You can see here a very vibrant looking blue. Really goes with the game board and all my other factions having more vibrant colors, kind of to show off their futuristic, maybe holographic qualities. So here we have the NATO alliance, and NATO is the last faction that is kind of like the Caliphate or the Pacific Coalition, where it is a amalgamation, sorry about that, of different nations. Of course, many of you are familiar with NATO, kind of defensive alliance of nations that were kind of founded in regards to holding back the Soviet Union during the Cold War, but kind of still exists today as a Western combined alliance, basically. So here we have the NATO faction. So getting into their airborne as usual, I really like their airborne. I went for, you can see this guy here. It kind of gives me like a British SAS or like kind of special forces type guy, special airborne. So I really like that. And of course, with the NATO faction being a very broad assortment of European nations, we've got these different, pretty wide-ranging infantry sculpts. So from this kind of World War II era German soldier, which I think looks good as a German like Bundeswehr, kind of modern army soldier with the kind of modernized MG42, from this kind of more French-looking officer to a heavier equipped soldier that might be in Croatia or the Balkan area. So definitely like all these guys. Here we have their tank force. Of course, M1 Abrams come with the game, and they make up the majority of the tank force. Now, the tank force was supposed to be these guys right here, the new Leopard tanks that I had printed by a friend. They came out a little bit small and not in the numbers I wanted, so they're still in the game to differentiate them, but I ended up throwing in some challengers from the original Axis and Allies 1980s game, and also, of course, the stock Abrams tanks. Because I did find in my playthroughs with some of my friends, NATO can get pretty big, and if they want to, they can start really pumping out a lot of tanks, which are helpful against the Russians. So it's definitely something I wanted to have a bunch of. Getting into the Air Force, they are stock, just the F-35 Raptor and Apache. With their Navy, I really like, because HBG sent me a couple of carrier, or actually, I ended up ordering some Queen Elizabeths, but then HBG sent me a bunch more, plus Charles de Gaulle. So I might maybe do some kind of 2025 giveaway, considering that I have a bunch of extra units and also some extra 3D printed units like the Queen Elizabeths. But you can see with the French and British supercarriers, they are very cool looking, especially the English supercarrier, considering that it has two superstructures. So, and both of them look a lot different than the other ones on the board, so I like having those. They usually don't build a second one, but I can definitely see it happening in the Mediterranean, so it is nice having two different variants. Then we just have the American Independence class, Arleigh Burke, and Virginia class submarine. All, like I said, American. Didn't have the resources to make my own, or also the fact that they kind of looked similar enough to existing British and French fleet elements that I didn't really want to go out of my way to build or make or buy any more ships to represent those. The only one I did do is 3D print a couple of these. I can't remember the actual nation. I'm pretty sure they were kind of modernized British stealth frigates. So I've got those to represent my NATO frigates. And lastly, for the ballistic missile sub, I got a couple of these as a gift from a friend on the Axis and Allies Facebook page. And because I had a few, or I think I only had two, they work out perfectly to be the couple of ballistic missile subs that the NATO faction gets. And the one here, I kind of like to think of as the new British Dreadnought class nuclear missile sub. It looks different than all the other ones on the board. It's a lot more beefy, I think, so I like having it there. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed, as this is the last video of my 2025 units. Maybe I'll make one on some of the more small additions to the game, like my nuclear blast markers and cruise missile markers, but those are a little more self-explanatory. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at my 2025 factions, and I hope you guys look forward to, I guess as a teaser, my new painted army reviews. I am finally going to be going into my World War II collection. Now, as many of you know, I've already posted some World War II stuff really far back when my channel's made, not my best quality painting or video making, so I will be not remaking them, but basically making a whole new series, because those were painted back in the days of Global 1940, Axis and Allies. But now I have my full-on painted Global War 1936 collection, not only all the nations, but the neutrals and the expansion sets. So I hope you guys are ready to see those. That will be a pretty big review, or series, because I will be separating them out into different videos. So hope you guys are ready to see those, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Consider subscribing and leaving a comment as always, and I hope to see you guys again. Cobra, out.